You are a good manager. You have good leadership skills, you have good communication skills, you have a good relationship with your team, and feedback from the team and from your supervisors is positive and it's great. You manage to reach your goals and everything is working fine. Then, at some point, something new that needs to be done comes in. Maybe a new project, maybe new ways of working that need to be incorporated in how your team works, whatever. And you notice that your team is not following up on those parts. Whatever you do doesn't seem to be working. Basically, the job does not get done. It is clear, it's been communicated, and people have heard it, yet and still, it's not working well. So at that point, you start thinking of solutions. For example, one immediate thought that you may have is, am I missing something? Am I not doing a good job as a manager anymore? And that could be possible, but it's probably not the case if the situation has been fine until then. Then the second thought will be, well, how about I put up an incentive to follow up on that behavior, to carry out the task, or to use that new method we're trying to bring in? But you know as well that rewards do not work that way. And if you're wondering why, take a look at the previous 2 videos or episodes. So the last option you may think of is, well, what about if I use my authority and I basically tell people, look, I am the boss and you need to get this done. And sure, that is a possibility, but you know that that possibility comes at a cost on the team stability, union, your own credibility, etc., etc. So if you are in this situation, is there a way to get your team to actually follow up on what needs to be done? And if you look at it, it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. There is a way. And just like with everything else, it has to do with knowing what the triggers are. And in order to get to a point where people will agree to work with you on something, or to incorporate new behaviors or work on new tasks, the best course of action is working via 4 steps. So, number 1, open a dialogue. Understand and ask your team why they don't want to do a specific task or why that doesn't get done. And try to get to the bottom of it. And once you understand or they explain to you what the situation is, respect it. Acknowledge the fact that they are resisting that idea for whatever reason. And it's not up for grabs to say whether that reason is a good one or a bad one. It's a reason. It's their reason. Respect it. So this is the first step. Recognize that they have a point. Make it a bilateral relationship and not an imposing one. Second, point out that still, in some way or another, that needs to be done. You heard their reasoning. Now it's only fair that you can share yours. And to conclude this 4th step, key aspect, offer them a choice. Offer people a choice on how they will want to go about it. Offering people a choice may seem like a minor thing to do when there is something that needs to be done, but it triggers respect. It triggers the idea that whatever the situation is, you as a manager do listen to your team, care for your team, and even though some things need to be done, you acknowledge that there is a resistance to doing that, and you offer people a say, you offer people a voice to figure out what the best course of action may be. And sure, it may not be perfect, it may not be ideal, but if the solution is entering a conflict or imposing with authority a new method of working, a task that needs to be done, versus the possibility of basically opening a dialogue about it, well, in one way you have a conflict or an imposition. The other way you have a dialogue, a discussion, and the possibility of coming in agreement. Which one would you think is best? Again, 4 steps. Understand what the resistance is, why people are not following up on something. Second, recognize and agree explicitly with their point of view. Third, point out that things actually need to be done because it's part of what the situation calls for. And fourth, key aspect, offer people a choice, not on what to do, but on how to reach the result. You need to go from A to B. How you do it, it's your call. That may get you out of the situation. How would you behave on this? Would you follow this train of thought, or would it be something else? Let me know. Thank you. Stay safe. Talk soon.